Before we get into today's video, I wanted to quickly thank Aoeah.com for sponsoring this channel. Aoeah is a great place to buy all of your Rocket League items, including wheels, crates, keys, and much more. Use coupon code JSPADE to save 3% at checkout. Hello YouTube, it is JackWellSpade. I'm back again with some more Rocket League. I know we've been doing a lot of openings recently, a lot of elevation crates and golden pumpkins and stuff, and that's definitely been fun, but you know, that also has a cost associated with it. It requires resources, and after the past week and a half where it's been so crazy busy and so much going on in the channel and, you know, us doing all these openings, I don't have too many resources left. So I was thinking it was about time for a preset tour anyways. We've done a couple of these in the past, but the last one was kind of overshadowed by the fact that I pulled my first painted mainframe at the end, so most people who clicked on that video probably were focusing on the painted mainframe and not the actual presets. I also know that a lot of things have changed in my setups. I've gotten new items and switched things around, and I've also been seeing some comments recently about how much people like my presets and how they like seeing different ones in different videos and stuff. So this will be fun, and we're certainly going to be doing more openings soon. I'm currently working on getting some golden pumpkins. I think I currently have, well, let's take a look. I currently have 11, and I've got a few on some other accounts as well, so hopefully we'll be able to do like a 20-25 opening tomorrow or the next day, so we'll see about that. But we do have quite a few shoutouts, so we'll go ahead and get through those. King Breadhead, Spoderman2323, at Spes Infracta, Heavenly Space 7. He actually donated a lot of stuff. He donated 2 full rows of good imports and very rares for trade-ups. He swapped his Striker Purple Troublemakers with my regular ones for free. He also gave me a white Yamane for free and a couple non-crate very rares, so that was pretty insane. Thank you so much, Heavenly Space 7. And let's see, who else we got? We got Toxic Chomper 98, The Young God, JCov33, Craze Rocky. He also has a YouTube channel called WWH Wrestling, Bulldog Shark 07, and Master Nathan SSWJ. I'm not even sure if that's exactly his gamer tag, because he actually left before I could even write the full thing down, but I know it starts with Master Nathan, and I know he donated me a couple of golden pumpkins, so thank you so much for that. But we'll go ahead and get right into it. I know in the past this type of video has taken a while, and I know I've got tons of presets, like literally tons, so hopefully we'll try and go a little bit quicker. But on this side, this is actually a preset that I made today, at least this side is. I've got this white Royal Tyrant. When Triumph came out, I did have the Royal Tyrant set. I think I'm missing a few colors now, but I do kind of like some of those, you know, basic Octane decals. I really liked the Black Striker sticker bomb I had before I sold it, and obviously this is great, and you'll definitely see a few more of those as we continue. The other side of this is just that Black Stego 20XX black and red white Zomba setup. I think Pick-a-Pixel used to use a car similar to this, so this is inspired by him. I also recently got Forest Green Meridians from an RLCS drop. I know I haven't really done an RLCS rewards video in a while, mainly because I haven't gotten that much great stuff, but I did put it with a regular Northern decal, and I do kind of like this color blocky, you know, type of setup here with the blue, the red, and the green all sort of clashing but blending at the same time. And on the other side we kind of got a purple Northern setup, and these purple Santa Fe's I actually traded for today, so that was pretty cool. Over here we've kind of got a Stormwatch going with these purple Reapers. I think, yeah, honestly I think I would really like to have some purple photons. There's definitely a few purple wheels that I don't have yet, so I might make a list of those sometime and just kind of tell you guys in the case that you guys have any of those. On this side, we got the purple Volts with the sky blue mainframe, just kind of putting a little contrast down the middle there. And here is a very old setup. I mean, not terribly old, obviously, because it's got mainframe, but preset 56 has been my purple Apex setup since I got the purple Apexes. Literally, what, 6-7 months ago? Back when they were expensive, not as cheap as they are now, so I'm definitely not getting rid of those guys. I know some people have asked me before, and they're not for sale. I paid way too much to resell those at today's prices, so I'm keeping the purple Apex, but I do kind of like a purple and yellow setup. Those colors go well together. Here we've got our purple Nimbus with purple Yamanes on one side and purple Finis on the other. It does have that wet paint on there, and I definitely do like this side a little better. You can see the contrast in the primary and secondary colors a little better, and you will see I do like the burnt sienna halo. I think it glows a little better than the orange halo, and I like it, so you'll see that on a few cars. Here we've got the purple Finis again with a purple dissolver setup. I know I used to be all over that, you know, dissolver setup where you make the secondary a dark color, so it looks kind of like swirling fire or water, however you want to look at it. The other side, I do like this. We've got the crimson reactors and the new wet paint that we pulled a couple days ago, and I definitely do like combining sky blue and crimson. You know, can get some really good setups with that, and you'll see that again very soon with the crimson equalizers I have. But I got these burnt sienna centros a while ago. I honestly think they were the first painted centros I pulled when Impact came out, and I just kind of made a little 20XX setup with them, and you'll see that burnt sienna halo again. I do like that. These are the purple Dynamos that I got back when Zephyr came out, and I just kind of tried to make it completely purple, not too exciting. I do kind of like this setup. This is something that I made today. I originally had this on in Octane with a Saffron Octane, but I did have a Saffron Jaeger lying around, and I was thinking, hey, you know, it would probably work pretty well, and honestly, I really do like this color combination, the yellow and the cobalt. Yeah. And purple's always great. I like a little bit of like a splash of color in a purple setup, so that saffron trim is just perfect for that. And I don't think I have Jaeger on any other setups, but those are the crimson equalizers I was telling y'all about, and you can see I've got that Trigon that's not currently rendering in, but you know what Trigon looks like, and I do kind of like putting those colors together. Those are the Cobalt Dynamos that are decryptored for me. I traded up a decryptored import and got those back when Zephyr came out. That was on video, so you guys might remember that, but obviously, since I have them forever, I kind of got to use them, so they're just kind of sitting around on that setup there. I also made this setup today. Recently got that sky blue mainframe that you guys might remember, and we've got Cobalt Dracos on this. I don't actually have sky blue Dracos right now. On the other side we got those crimson Playmaker Dracos we pulled from the Golden Pumpkin, and I usually don't set the secondary color to white on mainframe. I'm not sure why, but I'm just not a huge fan of it, but I decided to here, and I think it works, so that's fine. This is a very trippy car. I know when, Triumph came out, I was a pretty big fan of putting painted reverbs with Labyrinth, and obviously you can see that's what we're doing here. We're doing that purple and saffron setup again, and then on the other side we've got a Stormwatch going, which also matches the reverbs pretty well, but unfortunately I only have lime reverbs right now, not saffron ones, so it doesn't match perfectly, but you know, it looks good enough, and especially in a game. Not that I would use this car in a game, but if I was in a game, you know, it wouldn't look that terrible. So This is a pretty simple white and blue Slipstream White Draco car. I think this is a very old setup that I've just kind of had sitting around for a while, and then on this other side you'll see the purple Sovereigns. I definitely try and get use out of all of my purple wheels. I like to have them on at least one preset just to, you know, tell myself that I'm using them even if I never do. And you'll also see that a lot of the different sides, the blue side versus the orange side, on these presets aren't necessarily going to match up perfectly. Like, I got some that go together, but some others I just kind of, you know, mix and match. So I do kind of like this side. I've always been a fan of Slipstream, and I think a black and red setup works really well. I do like those Spiralis, and I also really like the white threads. I think white threads are a really good, cheap white wheel. If you want to look good and not spend a lot of money, I think that white threads are definitely a good bet. Here we've got our classic purple discotheque setup with the purple Trigon. I've honestly had this setup for forever, and you'll also see another setup I did similar to this with the Cobalt discotheques and kind of blend of colors. We got the purple Spiralis over on this side with the purple mainframe. This is my wonderful Black Yamane and Captain Daddy car. I really love those captain hats. I only have it on one of my presets. It's not like everywhere, but I do have 6 of them, so I'm thinking sometime we can play a sub game and give everybody a captain hat, and we could all be Captain Daddies, so that'll be fun. But I do love those Black Yamanes, and I'm definitely not anticipating selling them anytime soon because I've just been having too much fun with them. Here we've got some sort of monstrosity. I do kind of like this purple and sky blue 20XX setup. Obviously the Merc will make anything look blocky, but I just kind of had a little bit of fun here, and I like putting the Illuminatus with the Trigon because the tread on the Illuminatus kind of matches it perfectly. So that's my Merc. This is my troll car. This is just whenever I want to make people mad and just go into a game and, you know, flex with a zippy, so we can skip over that. This is my Roadhog carbonated setup. I do like the carbonated decal. I think that's a really cool decal. I think it's even better than Parallax. I've said that before and I will say it again. And I really hope that they bring out a carbonated decal for, you know, an Octane or a Dominus or something like that. I think that would be really cool if we could get that on another car too. And I recently got these purple Equalizers. I used to have them, but for some reason they disappeared, so I just got them back. And you can see that little cow on top of the car. I used to use those all the time, and I certainly still have quite a few. I think I've got like 12 or 15 little cows, but if you guys have any, please hit me up. This, I will say, is sort of inspired from some of the design ideas that we got from the design contest we did a couple weeks back. There were a lot of Aeramage setups in there, and I think Aeramage and Dune Racer go really well together, and I definitely like the Saffron and Sky Blue setup. On the other side, we got these purple Aethers that we also picked up recently, and that Dune Racer we also got recently as well. Honestly, I love Dune Racer, and I have since it came out, but I didn't really get one until very recently, and that was only because somebody donated a Tactician one. It's not because I went out and traded for it. So I'm definitely looking for a purple Dune Racer. If you guys have any, please hit me up. And yeah, this is the Cobalt discotheque setup I was talking about. You can kind of see how we've got those sky blue and purple colors in there. It definitely doesn't look Cobalt in the, you know, way that you would typically think of Cobalt in Rocket League, but I definitely like that little mix. And then that's just a very Crimson car using those Playmaker Crim Dracos we got recently. We got the purple Striker FSLs on here. I can't even remember where I got these, but I am pretty happy with them. Obviously, you know, we need purple FSLs for the purple set, but Striker is definitely nice to have on top of that. and I guess you'll start to see some of the wet paint designs. I know that I've really been enjoying the wet paint, and I think it goes pretty well on a setup like this. I do kind of like having a dark background and a little bit lighter of a foreground, so that purple on the navy. But here we've got our Voltaic Unicorn car. I'm not even sure what that's supposed to be, but it's basically the same on both sides, and I just kind of haven't touched that one in a while, so we'll leave it be. You'll also see quite a few cars where I'm just trying to get use out of some of these purple wheels. You'll see the purple Saptorichis and the purple Razzles. Here we've got these beautiful Cobalt Infiniums, which I've loved since they came out. I got some Cobalt Infiniums early on when Victory came out. I pulled them myself, and I used them all over on all sorts of different setups, and I got a pair back maybe a month ago, and just kind of made a couple setups with them, and I really do like it. Also, I've recently been getting more painted Octanes. I know on my last preset tour video I was getting a little bit of flack for having too many white Octanes on every setup, so I did try and use a bunch of different colors of Octanes. We got saffron, forest green, crimson, gray, sky blue, some others. But yeah, this is our rat rod car, which is definitely not terribly gorgeous, but I did want to get use out of those rat rods, so that's something we just won't touch. This used to be a little prettier. I used to have a sky blue Twinser, and the background was sky blue, and I think at one point I had a saffron Twinser that I had on this side, but you'll see I got purple on this side now and just a regular on this side. I think this is one of the designs I came up with when we were starting the design competition, just to kind of showcase what a cheap but nice looking car could be like. Obviously Crimson Threads and Kaleidoscope are pretty cheap, and Twinser and Phoenix Wings are as well, so yeah. Here we've got a very simple Dominus with white Zombas and 20XX. I do kind of like making the secondary black on 20XX or a lot of other decals. I do kind of like putting a little black in my setups. Here we are getting some use out of the burnt sienna raisins, because I'm pretty confident we're never going to sell them, and I'm pretty confident we're never going to use them in game either, so we're just going to let them sit on preset 18 forever. This other side is just kind of a simple cobalt and black dicey setup, and I really do like black halo. You guys probably have noticed that I'm absolutely in love with halos, and some of you may already know the story, but for those who are newer to the channel, I kind of started out my Rocket League career through a Halo set. I made friends with a crate seller from the Netherlands. He's a great guy and he's still very active, but he actually donated me a Halo set for free when I basically had nothing, so that got me started, and since then I've basically had almost a full Halo set at all times. There have been a couple of times when I've traded off one or two Halos just because somebody really needs it or it's a really good offer, but I tend to keep the whole set, and yeah, Halos are great. Preset 19, this is the Rocket Pass setup that I've got, and actually I'm not sure if I can really call it Rocket Pass because there's only one item on each side that's actually from Rocket Pass, but obviously we're paying attention to the wheels here. On this side is the Striker Purple Troublemakers that that guy donated me, and on the other side we got the purple capacitors and the black stego and the purple mainframe, so I do kind of like that as well. Preset 20 is one that I actually like, one that I made relatively recently. You guys will remember when I got those white Kalos a couple of videos ago, and I immediately made this setup with them. I mean, I didn't make it in video, and I'm not expecting you to remember something that didn't happen on video, but you'll remember the Kalos pull. And on this other side we got the Crimson Dracos with a Saffron primary, which I kind of do like, I guess a saffron secondary. But yeah, I do kind of like how the colors blend with the wet paint decal, and I think something like this really does look good, so that is a good use of it. I do have a couple setups that are Crimson and Cobalt Dices. Pretty simple, you know, you've seen this Dissolver setup before. I just kind of wanted to have a nice Crimson and Cobalt Dicey setup. This is a pretty old preset. This is basically what I made right after Triumph came out and I got my first Trigon. That was around the time that, well, I guess a little after I pulled my first White Draco, but I immediately put them on there and I've kept that preset ever since. But on here, this is something that I made today, and it is a little silly, but we've kind of got a Christmas setup on this side with the cold sweater and the green and crimson theme. I did have a Christmas tree on there, but it looked a little tacky, so we replaced it with a crimson halo. On this side, we've got the No decal that I pulled from RLCS Fan Rewards. I think this one is painted Cobalt, so if you guys have a purple one, I'm definitely looking for it. And those purple cruxes are nice. You know, I don't use them on a ton of setups, but I do like them. This is a very simple white Zombas and Dissolver setup, and the other side we got black Dices with Dragon Lord, and honest to God, I really do love Dragon Lord. I think that's a really great. Alright, and welcome back. I'm sorry about that. I actually ended up finishing filming the video. Like, I continued talking for about 10 minutes after the memory card filled up, so that was really weird because it told me I had about 38 minutes of recording time before I started, and it stopped at 22 minutes, so that was a pretty big difference, but we'll go ahead and finish this up. So what I was saying was Octane Dragonlord is a really good cheap decal. It doesn't cost a lot, obviously, and it's animated, and I do kind of like how it looks. So if you're looking for a cheap, good-looking decal, I would recommend Octane Dragonlord. Here we've got the pink Rations with the wet paint setup. We've got Lime Gurnos on this side with wet paint again, and I am very proud to say I actually sold 2 of my 3 Lime Gurnos, so I've only got 1 left, and obviously you're going to lose less money on something that's dropping if you're holding 1 of them as opposed to 3, so I'm relatively happy with selling those. Over here we've got a very Cobalt and Sky Blue setup with the Sky Blue mainframe and Cobalt reactors, Cobalt Halo. On this side we got purple loopers, and you'll see that purple and saffron color scheme that I like. And then we've got our Sky Blue Zombas. I do kind of like how the colors of the Zombas kind of flow into each other, and the wet paint does the same thing, so I think those go well together. And on the other side we've got our Burnt Sienna Clockworks, which I picked up a while ago. I heard somewhere that people like Burnt Sienna Clockworks, and obviously they're not worth too much now, and I can't really sell them, so I guess I'll just put them on a preset. But here we've got our Revenants, purple Revenants, and a 20XX. I do kind of like how Revenants are see-through, and 20XX changes in kind of a similar fashion. Here we've got the Stormwatch with Grimalkins, and honestly, I kind of forgot how creepy Grimalkins are. We can move past that. We got purple Zombas with Bubbly here. I used to use Bubbly on a lot of setups, but I sold it a couple weeks ago, and I only got it back recently, so it's only on a couple of setups. We've got the purple Illuminatus, which you already saw. This is my very saffron and sky blue setup. We got Heatwave on this side. It's actually a Victor Heatwave, and on this side we got Fire God, and I do kind of like this setup, especially this side. I think the contrast is good, and I do kind of like how Fire God is asymmetrical, you know? Gives a little bit of variety to the setup, so do like that. We got Sky Blue Volts and Dissolver on the Roadhog here, and purple mainframe over here. I do kind of like trying to use my my Roadhog set as much as possible. You already saw the Cobalt Infiniums, but this setup has Dissolver on it instead. And on this side we got Crimson Equalizers. This is a nice little setup that I made soon after Zephyr came out. I put Kilowatt on here, and It looks like it's not wanting to render in right now, but with Kilowatt, I like kind of making a darker primary, so the shocks that come down the car are more visible, as you can see. If I mean, obviously it's still not rendering in, but if it's a brighter color, you don't really see them as much, so I do like that. And Black Stego is, you know, one of my favorite toppers. I love that thing. We got Saffron and Purple again, those purple Imanes, I really do like those. Sky Blue and Pink with the pink Rasians again, and honestly, I think I probably have another pink wheel I could replace these with, but that's what it is for the moment. We got Forest Green Zombas here, and Dissolver is another decal where the colors kind of flow into each other. Obviously you can't see the Cobalt at the front as much as I would like to, but that's just kind of how it goes when you're putting two colors together that are very similar, you know, green and blue. On this side we got Purple Loopers again with a Heat Wave. Honestly, I don't use Heat Wave a lot. I've never really been a huge fan of it. Like, it's cool, but I know back when it was like super expensive, I really didn't think it was worth the price, and now I think it's a little more accurate. We got Sky Blue Volts here with our Sky Blue mainframe, and kind of black dicey black and red setup here. This is a setup I would love to show you guys. Hopefully, there we go, rendered in. We've got our white Chantico with black Diceys on this side, and white Chantico with white Dracos on this side. And I really do like putting, you know, simple unanimated decals together with really expensive nice wheels. I think that's, you know, pretty cool, and I've definitely seen a lot of high level players do stuff like that, so I like experimenting with that when I can. Here we've got our Crimson Spiralis setup, and I think on the other side we got Sky Blue Spiralis with a Sky Blue mainframe. I had this idea in my head that I didn't really like the Sky Blue Spiralis, but looking at them now, they're not actually that bad. So I do like this side though. The dark blue with the very rich red is a nice contrast, and the 20XX movement just kind of accentuates that. So here we've got white Zombas with a Sky Blue and Purple setup. I have been using that in games quite a lot recently. And on the other side we got our Purple Gurnos that we picked up recently. Here we've got our Crimson Loopers. I was going through these presets and I kind of realized that we didn't make use of our Crimson Loopers, so we did here. And I put the secondary on the wet paint at a very dark sky blue, so there's only kind of slivers of sky blue coming through, because if you make it too bright, I don't know, like I've got that set up on some other cars, but for this one I decided to go a little darker. And on this side we got white Zombas and kind of a purple setup, purple Roadhog, and we are back to the beginning. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I hope you enjoyed this. I know that I certainly put a lot of time and effort into these presets, and I certainly enjoy sharing them with you guys. So I hope that you enjoyed watching, and please feel free to take any inspiration from these that you want. Obviously, you know, I'm not gonna claim that any of these ideas are like originally mine, because you know, with so many Rocket League players out there all making setups and dozens of them, like eventually a lot of ideas are going to overlap. But I did come up with a few of these like 100% on my own. I might not have been the first one to do it, but you know, I did come up with some of these ideas myself. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. We are going to be doing some more openings soon, so definitely stay tuned for that. And again, I just want to say thank you guys so much. 4,000 subscribers feels great, and I know we're certainly not stopping there. So if you guys are along for the ride, I'm happy to have you, and we'll see what happens together. So I hope you guys are having a good one, and I will catch you guys on the next one.